Corporate greed is reaching unimaginable levels. Studies show that companies are using AI to set personalized prices according to each person's profile.
Companies may be using your data against you.
Damn, dude, but companies are using AI for you to show the prices you exactly.
It is called surveillance pricing, and that is when a company sets the price you see based on your unique habits and demographics.
A McKinsey study estimated that AI-based pricing systems can increase a company's revenue by up to
Yes, up to 15% revenue increase by AI-based pricing system. That's only price for you individually.
15%.
We found big retailers with little regional competition can extract large profits simply by adjusting prices of essential goods like food items.
Likewise, investigations by Consumer Reports detected differences of up to 116% in the price of the same online product,
Yes, 160% in the
depending on the
same.
buyer's zip code.
Surveillance pricing. That's when companies use someone's personal data, like browsing, even credit history, to sell them a product at a different price than what other consumers might see.
An independent analysis revealed that Uber can charge up to 6%
Yes, Uber can charge 6% when you have a low battery.
more when the user's phone battery is below 15%.
Uber is in the spotlight as the company faces accusations from a Belgian newspaper that it can see riders' phone
Yes, phone battery draining and then charge extra money.
battery levels and changes rider fares based off of that information.
Even in airline tickets, a report by the Wall Street Journal documented that some airlines achieved up to a
Yes, airline achieves some of the AI-based pricing.
20% increase in annual revenue after
20% increase after using the AI-based pricing.
implementing AI-based dynamic pricing systems.
Next time you go online to purchase an airline ticket, there's a chance that the price you see was influenced by artificial intelligence.
Yes, by artificial intelligence, by for you individually.
So, how companies are using AI to charge you more? The concept of dynamic pricing is not new. It dates back to the U.S. airline industry during the 1970s, when ticket prices were still regulated by the federal government. With the approval of the Airline Deregulation Act of 1978,
Yes, this is what happened. 1978 deregulation gave airlines pricing freedom.
airlines gained full freedom to set fares, and this transition opened the door to the creation of the first yield management systems.
On October 24th, 1978, President Carter signed the Airline Deregulation Act.
American Airlines developed one of the pioneering models,
Yes, one of the pioneering models by the American Airlines.
known as Dynamo, which analyzed demand patterns and automatically adjusted the prices of available seats. By 1985, the company reported revenue increases between 6 and 8%,
Yes, 6% revenue again.
solely thanks to these strategies. And by the end of the decade, almost all commercial airlines were applying similar mechanisms.
Everyone is applying this mechanism.
This model was based on relatively simple but innovative principles for the time, raising prices as the plane filled up, increasing fares for those who
Yes, if plane fills up, they raise the prices for every last seat you have.
purchased close to the flight date and offering discounts only when occupancy needed to be stimulated. The practice worked so well that by the 1990s, it expanded to the hotel sector, car rentals, and rail transports.
Yes, this is what happens. Surveillance pricing spread to hotels, car rentals, and rail services as well.
Service. This consolidation reinforced the idea that prices should not be static but should adapt to real-time
Yes, that's what happened.
demand. And major hotel chains still use this today.
Are you wondering why it's so expensive to stay at a hotel right now? What if I told you the rates that many hotels are charging are artificially inflated?
In
Yes, that are artificially inflated. You understand this scenario right
the
there.
mid to late 1990s, Hilton became one of the first chains to systematically adopt the dynamic pricing model inspired by airlines.
All right, this is the first of the first.
By 1997, the chain was already using a centralized rate-setting system that compared projected occupancy, historical demand, and seasonal booking patterns in real time. The change had an immediate impact. According to corporate reports from the time, Hilton managed to increase its revenue per available
All right, per available
room
seat.
by nearly 6% annually
6% annually. You understand? 6% annually, the increase in pricing.
for 3 consecutive years. It also reduced empty nights by approximately 12% in high-demand
Yes, 12% fewer empty nights in high-demand urban hotels.
urban hotels, such as Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York. The principle was simple but powerful. If a hotel detected that 70% of its rooms were booked for a long weekend, the price rose automatically.
Yes, if the 17% of are booked, price rose automatically.
Conversely, if projected occupancy fell below 40%, temporary discounts were activated. But this did
Damn, dude, you see what is happening right
not
here?
stop there. With the arrival of e-commerce in the mid-1990s, a second phase of expansion began.
Yahoo.
Amazon, one of its pioneers, began
Amazon becomes,
experimenting with price
yes, price based on user behavior, you see.
variations based on browsing data, search history, and user behavior.
Yes, I have some personal thing. I bought the books for read, but when next time I get the more pricing on that one. This is exactly same.
If you're familiar with Uber, you're probably familiar with the term surge pricing, but a new report claims that Amazon may use surge pricing as well.
In the year 2000, for example, specific cases became public showing how the same DVD could be sold with a 6% markup to one customer and not
Yes,
to another. Afterward, the company described these price differences as controlled tests.
yes, that's what they said.
However, these
They are getting your money, hard-earned money, like this.
Experiments demonstrated something crucial. Digital commerce made it possible to modify prices automatically, individually, and silently, without the consumer noticing. Between 2000 and 2010,
Look how bad this is. You understand how bad
the
this
massive collection of data such as cookies, IP location, and purchase frequency transformed how online retailers tracked consumers. Using
is? Yes, they do all these things, IP, cookies, and your data.
this information, they developed models that adjusted prices based on each user's estimated
Yes, adjust prices by user to user.
conversion probability.
Powered by algorithms and artificial intelligence, surge pricing is now being used across a growing number of consumer industries, from theme parks to restaurants, retail
Now, with the use of AI, they are doing these things.
outlets, and rock concerts.
Academic studies from the time recorded variations between 5 and 15% for
Yes, for price variations found for identical Amazon products.
identical products viewed by different users. The message was becoming clear. Price personalization was no longer experimental and was beginning to
A lifestyle.
become a structural practice of digital commerce. But nothing accelerated the normalization of dynamic pricing as much as the arrival of Uber. In 2012, the company popularized the concept of surge pricing, a model
Yes, surge pricing, reshaping ride-hailing
that
fares.
automatically increased fares when demand exceeded supply. The algorithm analyzed variables such as the number of available drivers, local events, weather conditions, and time of day. Based on these factors, it could multiply the cost of a ride by up to 200%.
Yes, 200%, not 6, not 16, not 40, 200% Uber fare surges during peak demand.
During peak moments.
In January 2020, say an Uber ride from New York City's John F. Kennedy Airport to Midtown Manhattan costs about $50. Today, based on the average price rise of Uber rides, that same trip could be $75, about a 50% jump.
Although the company argued
$75, 50% jump.
that this tactic encouraged drivers to go out when they were most needed, later studies questioned its effectiveness. Research showed that the system significantly increased fares without an equivalent increase in driver earnings. Between 2022 and 2025,
That's what research shows. This is what we have to know about this. They are the giants, big giants, getting your money handing.
independent investigations documented that Uber's take rate in the United States rose from 32%
Yes, 32%.
to 42%. This considerable
42%. You see, this is what happened in 2025.
increase reflected how the algorithm prioritized corporate profitability rather than balancing supply and demand. By the mid-2000s, millions of users had become familiar with the idea that
Yes, millions of users get to be familiar.
prices could double or triple at any moment, and they had accepted it without questioning it. Thus,
Without
the stage was set
questioning
for
it.
other
Yes, they accepted it without questioning, because what can do with the very giant organizations in industries?
industries to begin adopting similar models. But the real leap in complexity came after 2020, when companies began integrating advanced artificial
AI into pricing system, they began taking it.
intelligence into their pricing systems.
Big changes are happening at Delta Airlines. The company announced that it's ramping up their dynamic pricing, and they will actually rely on artificial intelligence
They're relying on artificial intelligence
to forecast demand for specific routes and set what passengers will pay for fares.
Unlike previous models, which relied mainly on demand levels, these new algorithms could analyze millions of data points simultaneously. They estimated how much each customer was
Yes, it's individual targeting only to you, my man.
willing to pay. It was no longer about adjusting prices by hour or city, but by individual. AI
Yes, by individuals, this pricing is.
learned from the user's history, geographic location, how many times they searched for the same item, and
Yes, everything is included in this situation.
even how long they left a product in the cart. Some studies found that iPhone users received systematically higher prices. For example, variations could reach 15% for specific products and services due to the statistical association between Apple devices and greater purchasing.
Yes, that's what will happen, because Apple is connected to greater purchases because of their with the high earn money you get.
Some online companies even boost the price if a customer is using an Apple product.
Yes, that's what happens. If you use an Android, you get a low price. If you're using Apple, you get a high price.
Know people who held Macs have more money.
But the most controversial development came between 2022 and 2025 with the
Yes, these 3 years.
adoption of dynamic pricing in digital supermarkets and grocery delivery apps. A recent study on Instacart's practices revealed that through the use of AI tools, products
AI tools are the main culprit right here that are doing all the things to the individually, personally.
could vary their price by up to 23% among different users viewing the same item.
23% same item price can be increased. If you bought in 100, someone is getting at the $123.
At the same time. Additionally, between 74 and 75% of the products analyzed
Yes, 74 to 75% different types
showed
of
different
things.
prices simultaneously. Today, the practice of dynamic pricing powered by advances in artificial intelligence has spread to all industries. For example,
Every industry you see right here.
in 2025, several supermarkets in the United States began replacing traditional paper price tags with digital
Yes, with digital Walmart and Kruger labels.
shelf labels, a technological shift led by major chains
You see, this is the digital label.
such as Walmart and Kroger.
Kroger, the largest grocery store chain in the country, is facing questions for using
Yes, why they are using this barcode styling?
electronic price tags with the ability to change prices at the push of
Yes, at the push of individual man and woman. That's what they do to get 23% surge on your pricing from your individual data you have from the AI systems back then.
a button.
Walmart specifically announced that it plans to deploy these labels in its 2,300 stores by 2026.
Yes, by 2026, Walmart is doing this digital price screens. This is not everyone is safe at this genre.
Problem is that these digital labels allow prices to be changed instantly for thousands of items in just a few seconds. This enables retailers to secure better profits depending on the type of shopper or their purchasing power. As these practices
Yes, that all money comes from your hard-earned.
have expanded, ethical concerns have grown. Current systems can charge more to a user simply because they live in an affluent neighborhood or use a high-end device. They can
Yes, that's what happens when you do so.
also adjust prices based on in-app behavior that reveals impulsive buying habits.
Yes, their device location and user behavior, that all matters. Everything they know about you, 100%.
Although companies defend these models as mechanisms of efficiency and optimization, critics argue that they often deepen economic inequalities. Price becomes an instrument of individual segmentation, where the final cost depends
What are your thoughts into all this, guys? This is so, I guess, so rubbish idea.
more on the buyer's profile than on the product itself.
I guess this is not a good one. What people are saying, you see, I don't care if they have a data, I have nothing to hide. Good job, Carl. Now your beer is 500% more expensive. That say, what are your thoughts? Also comment down, and this is not good.